Assalamu alaikum, inshallah you're well guys. So in my first video of 2024, we're going to speak about apprenticeships. The first medical doctor degree apprenticeships have been announced for a September 2024 start, and obviously there's going to be a lot of hype around this. So in today's video, we're going to go through some of the key facts. Just to let you know, I'm going to be using the East Suffolk and North Essex Foundation Trust application booklet as my source of information. Inshallah, I'll try to leave a link to that application booklet in the description below. So you should already know that as part of an apprenticeship, you'll be studying for a professional qualification, which will be a doctor's degree, and you'll be working for an employer at the same time, which in this case is the hospital trust. And that could be in a range of roles. You could be a HR administrator, to a ward clerk or a ward porter, to a clinical coding assistant, or even a discharge planner. Now, that doesn't sound very appealing to me. Doctors, correct me if I'm wrong, but those sound like administrative roles. And I'm not expecting a fresh school leaver to be operating in surgery straight away, but one of the biggest issues I have with apprenticeships is where they only offer administrative experience, which obviously adds no value. But that's obviously not the case here, guys, because alongside your experience, you get to become a qualified doctor, which is obviously a very respected profession. I'd just be prepared mentally that you could be doing a lot of admin over the next 5 years. And I also mentioned that you're studying at the same time, and in your first 3 years, you're spending over half your time at university. So there seems to be good balance between gaining experience in an administrative type role whilst also studying for a professional qualification. Now, the apprenticeship offered by the East Suffolk and North Essex Foundation Trust is in partnership with Anglia Ruskin University, and I'd expect other foundation trusts to have their own partnerships with local university providers, and if you pass all your exams, you're awarded a medical degree from this university. The most important thing to note is that your degree is accredited by the General Medical Council. So it is no less than anyone who has studied for a medical degree by going through the traditional university route. And that I think is great, because no one wants to study for a Mickey Mouse degree, and that won't be the case here. You will be on par with other qualified doctors. In terms of entry requirements, you need to have a level 2 qualification in maths and English, which is basically a pass grade in GCSE maths and GCSE English. And on top of that, you need to have 3 A levels at A, B, B, which must include 1 science-based subject. And you must have achieved those grades within the past 5 years. If you don't meet the A-level requirements, don't worry, because you can get in with a 2-1 degree if it's in a science or a non-science based subject. The only difference is that if you studied a non-science degree, then you need to have a A-level in 1 science subject at B grade or above. Again, all of these must have been achieved in the past 5 years, but I definitely recommend checking out the application booklet because there are more requirements that you could meet to get in than what I've mentioned in this video. Now, don't ask me why there's a 5-year limit on the qualifications, because in my opinion, people forget what they studied last year, but the good thing is it's opening up access to a broader range of people. You could have studied your A-levels or your degree years ago, but guess what? You can still apply. The real positive in all this is the A-level requirements, because many medical schools require 3 A's at A-levels. And I remember when I was back in 6th form, there were many smart and capable students who would stress out over this requirement. If you actually look at the Anglia Ruskin website, you'll see that they require 3 A's in the past 2 years to study via the traditional route of going to university. So lowering these requirements slightly is very good for diversity because it opens up applications to a broader range of candidates. In terms of how many vacancies, the East Suffolk and North Essex Trust are recruiting for 20 apprentices. Now, I couldn't find much about the application process in the booklet, but what became clear was that you needed to sign up to one of the information events in order to apply, and these are being held throughout February. So please pause this video, and if you want to sign up, do it now. I can tell you now, there's going to be a lot of interest in this. Your tuition fees are paid for, you're going to get paid a salary, you're studying for a doctor's degree, you're going to have 5 years of experience. Imagine all the people who got rejected from the traditional university medical route last month in UCAS. They're going to be applying to this scheme. My advice to you is act quickly and sign up to one of these events. Bring your A game, bring your professional qualifications and references with you, dress professionally, and be prepared to answer any questions. In terms of benefits package, it seems to be fairly standard. You're offered a base salary on top of 27 days annual leave. And at the end of the apprenticeship scheme, you're offered a permanent position in a foundation year, which again is in line with the traditional route of going to university. Now, the best thing is that you're offered a permanent position at the end of the scheme. That's very different from apprenticeships in other sectors because that's not always the case. For example, in finance, you're not always offered guaranteed employment after you complete the scheme. So if you're a parent watching this video, don't worry. your son or daughter has that job security. Now, your salary will be approximately 14k in year 1, going up to 17 to 18k in year 2, around 19k in year 3, around 20k in year 4, going up to around 22k in year 5. The annual pay rises are great. You're getting approximately 10%, sometimes maybe even more each year, but I am definitely not happy with that starting salary. I have a bit of an issue with degree apprenticeships. Many schemes seem to be dominated by those from middle class backgrounds, and this starting salary definitely doesn't appeal to those from lower class backgrounds. Imagine you're on 14 to 15k a year. That's less than £1,200 a month, and you don't have the luxury of living with mum and dad. How are you going to afford rent, travel, utilities, bills, food in less than £1,200 a month? At the end of each month, what are you going to be left with? Now, I'm not trying to put you off. I think you should definitely apply, but it's food for thought. Inshallah, I do think this is a huge positive development. There will always be concerns because it's different from the traditional university route. Will you be treated less in the workplace? And there are obviously doctors out there who don't think this is a good idea, but my advice to you is forget all that. Because 12 years ago, when I started my apprenticeship, this was the same sort of noise, the same sort of negativity that I was seeing. But here I am 12 years on with lots of experience in finance, a couple of promotions, and alhamdulillah, I think I'm doing all right. My advice to you is apply. What have you got to lose? Inshallah, I'll leave it there, guys. As always, any questions or queries, please feel free to comment below or message me on Instagram.